Lewis and Clark truly blazed the trail that opened the West to dozens of intrepid individuals looking for opportunity and wealth. The fur trade promised the greatest rewards, specifically the fur of the beaver, treasured by East Coast men and women for their hats and coats. Manuel Liza was one of those to follow in Lewis and Clark's footsteps. In Liza's case, almost literally. He led a large party of trappers up the Missouri River and down the Yellowstone to the mouth of the Bighorn. Here, he built a fort and conducted a fur trading business for a half-dozen years. Encouraged by Liza's success, General William Ashley and partner Andrew Henry placed this ad in 1823. For the Rocky Mountains, the subscribers wished to engage 100 men to ascend the Missouri to the Rocky Mountains, there to be employed as hunters. As a compensation to each man fit for such business, $200 per annum will be given for his services. The ad attracted men whose names would go down in history. Rugged mountain men like Jim Bridger and Jedediah Smith. Theirs was a hard and dangerous life, but the lure of money for the fur of the beaver was strong. Drawn by the prospect of wealth, it was men like these who blazed new trails throughout the far West. Jim Bridger is the personification of the frontiersmen. His exploits were so outrageous that they were disbelieved until others found them to be true. In 1824, he discovered the Great Salt Lake with its saline waters, and later, Yellowstone with its geysers and mud pots. His reports of these phenomena were at first ridiculed as tall stories. Jedediah Smith quickly rose to the status of captain in the trapper brigades. He packed a lifetime of experiences into a 12-year period. In 1826, he went searching for the mythical Buenaventura River and became the first white man to traverse the land from the Rockies to California. He also was the first to cross the Great Basin, the first to cross the Sierra Nevadas from west to east, and the first to venture overland from Southern California to the Pacific Northwest. This was his most remarkable journey, through the Mojave Desert in 1827, north through the California mountains to the Willamette Valley, Oregon by 1828, then east across the mountains to the Flathead River of Montana, and south in 1829 to Pierre's Hole, Idaho. His life was cut short just 2 years later when he was killed by Comanche Indians while leading a wagon train to Santa Fe, New Mexico. The fur trade also attracted Captain Benjamin Bonneville, a French-born U.S. Army officer. While his orders called for collecting information on geography, geology, and topography, Captain Bonneville pursued the fur trade. He joined forces with veteran mountain man Joe Walker in the summer of 1833. Bonneville sent Walker off to find a trail from Utah to California. Walker's route followed the Humboldt River to the Sierras, which they crossed in a terrible 20-day trek. They became the first white man to see the beauty of what is now Yosemite National Park. Bonneville sent Walker off to find a trail from Utah to California. They proceeded on to Monterey, where they were warmly welcomed by the native inhabitants. On the return trip, they followed a different route and found what became known as Walker Pass, the gateway through the southern Sierras, which became a major immigrant trail into California. The fur trade did indeed contribute greatly to the exploration of the West.